it is impossible for me to kind of contain my fury at the way Democrats are playing games with this with the paycheck protection program, the fund that has been helping small businesses with financial assistance. The Democrats and the Republicans came together and did round one. The money has gone dry, and now Pelosi is sort of bragging that we're not just going to increase the funding, we're just going to stonewall. And again, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. I want you to go back to work at some point. I am so worried about the future of this country's economic engine. And of course, we don't want people to get sick and die in place of businesses being open, but it's dire. It is bleak for people who work in a restaurant. We talked to the lady who ran, in charge of the Florida Lodging and Restaurant Association this past week. These are people that are hanging on and for sort of dear life. I tell you all the time about Job Creators Network and what an important, powerful advocate they are for small businesses all over America. Alfredo Ortiz has testified before legislative committees about the impact of bad government policy on job creation. He was the vice president of CSM Bakery Products Food Service Division. They were a little, $2 billion global food company. And a story that I just treasure. Born to poor immigrants in Southern California, Alfredo, he's in many ways the embodiment of the American dream. He's the president and CEO of Job Creators. Now, watching us on your favorite radio station, you can feel free to watch the interview as well as listen to it here on your favorite radio station. Alfredo, it's great having you back on the Mike Gallagher Show. How have you been, my friend?
Mike, thank you very much for having me. I've been fine, like everybody, just trying to figure out how to, make everything work. And I hope you're fine yourself, your family and loved ones, and yourself. You're fine and healthy.
Thank you. We're good. I'm working in my kitchen, like many people working from home. So people are critiquing my kitchen counters behind me and telling me it doesn't look like you ever cook in that kitchen. And I say, you're right. You're right. I don't. But
Well,
we're
but Mike, at least you don't have two $20,000 Sub-Zero refrigerators behind you where you can pull out your $10, $15 per pint ice cream like Pelosi.
I promise I do not. I promise I do not. And boy, you talk about a tone deaf appearance as
Man,
people struggling to find food. The pantries are, people at food banks, and there's
amazing.
Pelosi in front of not one, but two of the most beautiful refrigerators I've ever seen, and then opening up and showing off her gourmet ice cream. Alfredo, the opposite of that were terrible. And we all can agree that I would think if she had a shred of common sense. She wishes she hadn't done that appearance with James Corden on that show with all of the,
Right.
like you said, $21 a pint ice cream. My goodness, what moronic thing to do to
I
shove in
mean,
the face.
I don't know about you, Mike. I still clip coupons trying to find the cheapest ice cream.
Well, I'm trying to lose weight, so ice cream isn't on my horizon right now. But I sure can't believe the Speaker of the House would be so
Yeah,
oblivious to how many people are struggling and hurting
yeah,
right now. And then
Mike.
to the point of this paycheck protection thing, Alfredo, I'm
Yeah,
pulling my hair out. I'm going. I don't understand Democrats wanting to play a game on the backs of small businesses all over America that are shut down.
yeah. I have to tell you, my mom would probably be slapping me on my hands right now because I'm going to be rude, and I'm just going to point blank say I don't know what the hell she is thinking about right now. She is playing with the lives of Americans across the country in terms of the livelihoods. 22 million people at this point over the past 4 weeks unemployed. You know what that translates into, Mike? 33,000 jobs being lost per hour over the past 4 weeks per hour. And she's sitting there playing around with over a week now, not getting these things approved. The president went and asked for the additional funds because Mitch McConnell said we're going to run out of funds. And sure enough, we did. So this was last Thursday. They asked for $251 billion. So it could be a $600 billion program. As of Wednesday night, the program's out of money. And that means that no other applications can be accepted because they can't by law because there's no appropriation dollars left, no appropriated dollars left. So we need to go back. We need today, I would say by voice vote. And if I've ever asked for a favor of you and of your listeners, it's get on the phone. Don't call your bank at this point anymore. Don't call the SBA. Pick up the phone, text, email, or whatever. Call your senators. Call Chuck Schumer because they have the power to make this happen today. And this is what we need to happen today, not 24 hours from now, 48 hours, or May 4th when they reconvene. I mean, this is unbelievable how she's literally holding hostage Main Street America so that she can get her little pet projects done. And quite frankly, look, I love the fact that overall we're going to want to give more money for hospitals and stuff like that. I do support that. But look, Mike, at the end of the day, those programs still have funds. In
Right.
many cases, the programs from the First CARES Act stuff still hasn't even been sent out. This program is out of money completely, which means it's been very, very popular. And over 70% of the loans, Mike, are loans over that are 150,000 or less, that are 20 employees or less. So this is really Main Street America that's getting the assistance. And she's sitting there in front of her Sub-Zero refrigerators, eating her fancy gourmet ice cream, and without a care in the world. It's unconscionable, Mike.
It's disgraceful, and I'm really I always try to understand any argument in the world. I'm not understanding this. Let's listen together to the president yesterday talking about how crucial this Paycheck Protection Program is to be continually funded. Here's what the president said.
What they want is people want to keep this going, and we're doing it to keep the small businesses open and to keep the workers paid. And we have a $250 billion request. The Democrats like it. The Republicans love it. And to be honest, I think something's going to be happening. I hope so, because this is a very popular program. It was really executed flawlessly. The first day they changed an application a little bit. But when you look at what Bank of America did and what Wells Fargo did and Citi and a lot of the banks, but when you look at what all of the community banks did, it's been really incredible. Well, we're negotiating with Democrats, and they should frankly approve it quickly. This is a great thing for our country. It's a great thing for small business and for the workers. And we're having a hard time getting them to approve it. I think it's going to happen. It should happen really unanimously. But they're trying to get things, and we're not too happy with what they're trying to get. Please go ahead.
Now, that's the president, as diplomatic as you'll ever hear him, probably, Alfredo, because he's desperately trying to get the Democrats to stop this stonewalling. Alfredo, let me give you a real world example from a listener who called me from Mobile, Alabama this week. She owns a used car dealership. She has 8 people on the payroll. She called me Wednesday of this week. She said, Mike, payday's Friday. Not really sure I'm going to be able to make it. I'm not sure I can make payroll. We're holding on. We're trying. There's an example of how every day Pelosi and Schumer are playing games and refusing to put money back into this account. That's all that they asked. That's all McConnell asked. He didn't ask for anything other than that. There's an example, a business owner who may have to lay people off because of the games that the Democrats are playing. Where am I wrong here?
Mike, I have to tell you, it's just unbelievable. We put out on Facebook and social media a message basically that says the message that the Democrats are putting out to small business is the following: drop dead. Because that's basically what they are doing right now. The games that they are playing, literally businesses are closing up, hundreds and hundreds by the hour are closing up. Most small businesses don't have more than 45 days of cash, and we're already at that point. This was a great example. Payroll was Friday. I'm not sure she probably made payroll. Your listener from Mobile there, I bet you she probably couldn't make it at all because where's she going to get the funds?
And I heard the fear in her voice, the anxiety, and the frustration. I mean, Alfredo Ortiz from Job Creators Network talking about the payroll protection program. Hey, even CNN of all places. Here's Julia Chatterley over at the CNN business desk. She's a CNN business anchor. Here's what she talked about regarding this holdup. Again, it was a clean bill. McConnell, Republicans, we just got to put money back in to get it out to these small businesses. Here's what a CNN business anchor said about the holdup.
This program was built to try and save small businesses, to save jobs, and it's unacceptable, even with the fact that we know states and healthcare areas need more money too, to allow this program to go on any further when jobs, small businesses, and the economy and the recovery rely on it.
Shocking words from CNN, because frankly, even she's acknowledging that this is the enemy of the perfect, or I mean,
Right.
of the good. I mean, my goodness, their argument, I guess, the Democrats, all right, nobody gets any additional fund because we want some more. Honestly, will you be
Well,
devil's advocate for me, Alfredo, and tell me what
yeah,
they're truly trying to do here?
Mike, it's impossible to even try to spin it in any way, shape, or form. I mean, even Obama's former SBA administrator called Schumer and Pelosi and said, "You have to fund this program. This is vital for our country's recovery and success." The
Wow.
previous Obama administrator of SBA telling Pelosi and Schumer, "Get this done." I mean,
Mm.
there is no excuse at this point, and that's what I'm saying. I urge, first of all, if people could go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com, Mike, we have a petition going right there. And if you can call, if you can put the word out through your program and your listeners, and quite frankly, call your colleagues, tell them to do the same thing. Great folks and friends of yours on radio networks. We
Sure.
have to get this done today, Mike.
Well, I'm grateful for the advocacy of Job Creators Network. Every single day, I remind people to go to jobcreatorsnetwork.com. If you own a small business, you work for one, go to their site, because they are advocating for small business owners. Honest to goodness, there are so many maddening aspects of this whole pandemic. I'll never understand politicizing an anti-malaria drug. I'll never
Right.
understand Democrats getting in the way of funding small businesses. I'll never understand governors sort of admitting publicly they never even thought of the Bill of Rights when they started implementing some of the
Right.
draconian moves. There's a lot of it that's head scratching, but this one cannot stand. Alfredo, do you believe the American people are paying attention and taking note of the way the Democrats have tried to block the assisting small businesses like this?
Mike, I really hope they do, because this is truly unconscionable. Everyone in this country is touched by small business in one way, shape, or form. If I just did a quick kind of virtual poll or survey of all of your listeners and asked the following three questions: Do you own a small business? Do you have a relative or friend that owns a small business? Or have you shopped or frequented a small business before this COVID crisis? In the last, let's say, 30 days, I bet you 100% of your listeners would say that one, two, or all three of those conditions would apply to them. Small business is the backbone of our country. 2/3 of new job growth is in the hands of small business. Over 50% of our payroll is in the hands of small businesses. And she's sitting there in front of her Sub-Zeros like nothing's happening, eating her $10 per pint chocolate ice cream. I mean, this is ridiculous.
It's insane. And so let me end on a positive note, I hope.
Sorry,
Uh,
sorry.
I know. Well, no, I'm with you. I'm as angry about this one as I've been on anything. This is nuts. This is
Yeah,
so blatant and so transparent that we can just say it again. Democrat leadership is preventing small businesses today from being
right,
funded because they're playing games. Do you
right.
believe that they are going to finally buckle and budge? And do you think that there's hope that the Democrats will knock it off? And if so, when?
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks like at this point they're having conversations today. It may, spill into over the weekend on Monday. But, again, this is not Mitch McConnell going up there and saying, "Hey, I want funding for Republican small business owners." I mean, this
Right.
is Republican, Democrats, Independents. This is
All of
everybody. This is America. My goodness sakes.
No, I know. So Alfredo, I'm grateful for again everything you guys are doing. Thanks for your partnership with Team
Thank you.
Gallagher. Keep fighting the good fight. It's great to see you and hear your voice, and we'll visit again real soon.
Great. Thank you, and be safe.